Hello everyone and welcome to Redmen Plus and the player ranking show. After Girona 0, Liverpool 1, Liverpool making it 6 wins out of 6 in the Champions League, securing themselves top 8 spot in the process. An eventful game in the first half, less so in the second, but that probably suits the Reds down to the ground. I'm Ste here, joined by Chloe Blocks, and we've just been on watch along duty watching the game. We're going to be presenting the player ranking show. I'm sure most of you will know by now. If you haven't checked it out before, we've had loads of new subscribers. Thanks very much for subscribing. We go through every single Liverpool player and get their stats from 3 of the biggest stats websites going. That is SofaScore, Who Scored and FotMob. We'll have a look at the mark out of 10 they all give each Liverpool player, and then we'll discuss, do we agree, disagree, too high, too low, all that kind of stuff. Let's get rid of that. Don't need that. And we'll make a start straight away then. Let's talk, Chloe Bloxham, about Alisson Becker. First time he's been back in goal since that injury at Crystal Palace. And on most of the stats websites that we look at there, he was actually given Liverpool's Man of the Match award. He gets an 8.1 ranking from SofaScore, a 7.8 from Who Scored, and an 8.3 from FotMob. And yeah, I wouldn't say he had to make any spectacular saves, but also that might just be because Alisson's brilliant and he's always in the right place. And there was a couple of times when it was right at him where it was like, this is what it's like to have Alisson. It never has to be that difficult because he gets his angles spot on all the time.
Yeah, he does the basics really, really well. You know, he builds stability and he gives everyone confidence. I mean, the save that he does do that's really quite good is the one where Daley Blind should score from about a yard out. It goes back post and Alisson, I feel like at some point he's about to jump over the ball but just gets something on it, make sure it doesn't go past him. But he did the simple things tonight. I mean, the one on the edge of the box where Curtis just doesn't close the man down, and I think it's going in top bins. He's concentrated, he's always on it. And yeah, I just thought he was really good. He was called upon in moments, and he maybe didn't have to make the most spectacular saves, but he did exactly what was needed of him. And look, we all know how good Kelleher's done, but Alisson Becker is the best goalkeeper in the world, and you know, he's came back in and we all thought maybe he might have a kind of quiet night, you know, feed him back in, get him back used to it. No, he was very much eventful in that first half. So yeah, fair play to him.
So it is like a stats based kind of show. This one, the XG of the shots he faced, combined 5 saves he makes, and the XG is like 0.5. So they suggest like none of them are brilliant chances. Some of them are from long range and stuff. But like say the one early on when Daley Blind makes a complete hash of it, and Alisson's already diving pretty much to stop Blind. Now Blind there kicks it and it goes to the back post, and he does so well to get up, and like I say, he saves it kind of with his backside really or something, you know what I mean, like, but he just does enough to get something on it. That is what goalkeepers are trained, you know what I mean? And for a guy who's been out for a while, he's only returned to training fairly recently, to have the reflexes to be up, out, across, like that's what goalies train for every single day. You're right to reference Keller has been excellent. He has the blip obviously against Newcastle, but every goalkeeper has a shocker now and then. But it was good to see Alisson come back in and not miss a beat, really. He just looked like Alisson again. Yeah,
he did. And hopefully, you know, the more he comes back. I mean, it's difficult for goalkeepers because, look, we saw what happened to Kelleher a couple of seasons ago when he didn't play and then all of a sudden we needed him and he didn't have a great time, and it was because the rhythm wasn't there. Alisson Becker's been out for a while. He comes back and he just makes it look a little bit simple. And like you said there, it's his reaction to Daley Blind missing that sitter, him getting back up, making himself big enough, spreading himself to make sure he gets something on it and saves it. He was commanding from corners and from set pieces as well. There was a couple of times where there's a ball maybe going back post and he just reads it and he cuts across it and cuts out the danger. So yeah, you know, he was very stable for us. I don't think he like you said there, he makes 5 saves. Not all of them are game-winning saves. They're not unbelievable saves. But once again, it's just that stability. It's if you let a simple goal go in, or if you make a little error, put yourself under the pressure, then you know you can kind of upset and derail the rhythm of the squad and the team, and you can cause their team and their fans to kind of get up for it and believe a little bit more and put more pressure on you. But he just did all the basics correct, and yeah, like you said, a solid performance from.
I think as well, like it's worth mentioning, I think it's Asprilla shot from the edge of the box. he makes that look really easy.
Yeah.
Like that's a worldie for some goalies. You know, some goalies don't sniff that, and you know, it's past them in a flash. He nearly catches it, or he could if he wants to, because that's how good he was. And it is interesting because Arne Slot again post game says, you know, he had to make some saves, but you know, thankfully he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and like, that's what he's needed for. He was never in any doubt, Arne Slot, that, you know, Kelleher could have done whatever, and Alisson was going to play. And actually, when you see performances like tonight, this is not to say Kelleher couldn't have done that, because we've got previous examples of Kelleher being able to do
literally this season.
Absolutely, plenty of them. But also, I did feel a bit more confident with Alisson back there. You just would, because he is just the best. And again, one dodgy pass aside to Andy Robertson, he was almost flawless. And yeah, I thought it was a good game to bring him back for. Just thinking, I didn't think he was going to be as busy, because Liverpool, if you look at the stats, Liverpool dominated the game pretty much, but there was a couple of counters and a couple of times here and there where Girona did get through, and that can be difficult for a goalie. You're not constantly in the action. It's just nothing, bang. It was good to see actually from like that. The best save is probably the earliest one, really. I think it's about 12 minutes in when he makes that save at the back post. That's great to see where he's on it straight away. He
makes a better save from Brian Gill, who's offside, so it won't count anyway.
Yeah.
But the one where he stumbles, he still gets to it. He makes himself big. He rushes out, and he gets something on it to make sure the ball does not dink over him. That was a good save from him. Obviously, that's not going to count because it was then given offside after the fact. But he didn't know when he was rushing out and closing that distance. And that's the thing with him, is that Kelleher has been brilliant. And I've mentioned it and I'll say it again. If anything happens in the league this season, if anything happens at all, and we go on to win something, Kelleher has a massive say in that, because he stepped up for us in massive games of football. And that will not be forgotten. The sad thing is that he's just got the world's #1 goalkeeper in front of him. And Arne Slot knows that. And Arne Slot, even at the start, even throughout the entire time when Kelleher has been putting in phenomenal performances, he's been asked about Alisson, and his choice has always been, Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the world. When he comes back, I'd be ludicrous to not put him back in. Unfortunate, but that is just, you've got to be ruthless at times as a manager, and I think in that moment he is, but rightfully so. He is Alisson Becker. And I think it's his decisiveness when he reads something, and like that Brian Hill situation, he comes out in an instant. He knows exactly what he's going to do. He doesn't hesitate to do it. And, you know, he makes himself big, and he makes sure that there's not a lot of the target that Brian Hill can hit. So yeah, it's one of them where it's Alisson Becker. What else do you want to say? He's sound. He didn't have loads to do. It was a solid game from him, and like you said there, it's better him coming back in this game. Not where it doesn't. It clearly means something, and I'm so happy that we've won it. But also, you know, it's not a Premier League game where it just, the pressure is so much more. A loss would have been disappointing, of course, but like a loss wouldn't have ended. Liverpool probably still would have finished in the top 8. So you are right, maybe less pressure. The thing I found, I don't know if this is the right way to frame it, and it might come across like I'm disparaging Quivine Kelleher, and I promise you I'm not, but love him.
He is fantastic. But Liverpool, who are currently top of the Premier League and top of the Champions League, unbeaten in the Champions League, won 6 out of 6 now, 5 out of 5 before this one, have got better now, because they've just brought out, so not only were they the best team in Europe anyway, they've now got even better by bringing Alisson back in, and down the line that's going to prove beneficial, because again, I think Kelleher has a really top goalie, but he's not the best goalkeeper on the planet. You might argue who is and who isn't. I don't think you could ever argue Kelleher's in that mix. Alisson, I think he is. People who argue might say someone like a Courtois, or a few, and there's some really good ones. Some people really like Ederson, Emi Martinez have won the award and stuff, but I think Alisson is in that bracket. And I think tonight showed, Chloe, you are right, none of them are worldies, but I give him credit for that, because he doesn't need to make worldies, because he's just always right. He very rarely makes the wrong decision. He's very rarely out of position. And he comes to the edge of the box to clear things up. He tends more often than not, like 99 times out of 100, to get his decision making spot on. And I think the best skill Alisson's got, and I think he proved it definitely with the Asprilla shot. His positioning and his footwork's immaculate. He very rarely has to make the big dive and touch cut to the corner, because he always he just walks across because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he reads the game very well. He reads the movement of the attacker quite well, and like you said there, his decisiveness in what he does. If he goes early, you know, he might have a problem, but 9 times out of 10 he gets he gets it correct the way the ball's going to go. He's really quick in terms of moving his feet to make sure you get over quick enough. And yeah, like you said, he's one of them that makes world-class saves when needed, but actually probably gets not a lot of credit for the fact of how easy he makes some things look. And it's a bonus for us to have this. Kelleher will still get his games. We play Southampton and we play Accrington Stanley. Kelleher will start both of them, and if they don't, then I'm not sure what Slot's doing there, because I get that Alisson has just been back, but you just don't risk him for those 2 games. So Kelleher still has a massive part to play in this season, but it's good that we've got the best goalkeeper back. And you can give plaudits to both those goalkeepers. It's really unfortunate for Kelleher that he's just got Alisson Becker in front of him. But this is the best goalkeepers are the ones that just go about doing things and you don't really need to speak about them. Like we're not sat here talking about the unbelievable things he's had to do, because he just makes things look simple and calm, and you kind of brush past like chances because of the fact that it's Alisson Becker. So you just expect him to do these saves and you just expect him to you know, kind of handle things well. So it's one of them where he probably goes under the radar because he had quite a bit to do, and we're just not giving him credit, because we are, but we're just sat here saying none of it was spectacular, because that's just Alisson. You just expect him, and he just did it so calmly.
He makes the difficult look routine, and I think there's a couple of occasions tonight in particular where he definitely did that. So yeah, fantastic work from Alisson Becker.